So hi everybody. So today what we're doing a quick look at the miniature that comes with the Dark Soul board game. That's not the expansion, that's actually the main board game that you need to buy if you want to play the Dark Soul board game. I did a review on the character expansion and I did a review for the ghosts, the expansion for the invaders and the NPCs. In this one, we'll compare basically, not compare, but we'll look at the miniatures that come in the main board game and see the difference. Because as you saw, if you saw my other videos, the character expansion, the characters were fine, a bit small, but fine for the detail. You could actually work around. Some of them weren't that great, but at least half of them were pretty nice. And I was not too happy with the one for the ghosts, the invaders, and the NPCs. So we'll check all the monsters, bosses, and characters that come in the main game and see the difference. So what I'll do, I'll just move the boss to the side for now, and we will open the monsters and playable characters. And there we go. So the first thing we'll start with the Silver Knight. So the first Silver Knight is not that bad. The arrow's a bit bent, but it's not the end of the world. The bow got really beautiful ridge, really deep, good enough. They're not too thin, they're not bad at all. And even at the front on that guard just beside the arrow is not that bad either. That's easily, you can do easily highlights on that. So that's pretty cool. So like I said, on the other box, sometimes you need to do a dry brushing, but if you don't want to do one and actually go with your paintbrush, you can actually do it with those. So the cape in the back is actually really nice. It's not super well detailed, but it's still pretty good. Chainmail is good too. The bow itself doesn't have any texture in the back, but it's not the end of the world. Just be careful for that mold line that goes across in the back. But beside that, the armor is really beautiful. We got good deep design pattern in it. So that is really nice. I really love this. For the helmet, if you look carefully, you can actually see the eyes are really deep. So easy to shade or whatever you want to do to highlight them. But the bottom of the helmet is a bit weird, if you can see. It's as if his jaw has been ripped off. So that's going to be a bit tricky to do a beautiful design with this. And we got that big mold line to the side of his helmet. That isn't that great. But beside that, it's not so bad. It's actually okay. But like I said, the arrow is really curved. To the side, it's not that bad. From the top, it's a bit. But yeah, you need to make that more straight once again. So acceptable. But for the all around of the design, it's not bad at all. It's actually really great. Now let's go for one of the hollow. We got the hollow soldier with the axe. The axe is bent again, but at the same time, not bad. Could fit with the design because it's on a hollow. So basically, it's just a mindless zombie running around. So yeah, there's a few scars on the axe itself. So that's kind of cool. You can add some by just painting. But beside that, that's pretty nice to have that already in the character. As you can see, the hood he's wearing is got some wear and tear here and there, and still pretty cool when you want to do some design. It's fun when it's already there. It's not fun if you're not planning to have any wear and tear on the design, but now they're forcing you to do it. But at the same time, they're really deep, well done, so it's really easy to actually put a bit of black or something just to highlight those. We can see part of the spine in the back, so that's another really cool thing. The legs are well done. We got a bit of mold line, but beside that, when I look at the mold line to the side, I actually don't feel it. So that's actually really good. Beside that, the biggest mold line that I got is really the one that goes over the head, over the shoulder. But beside that, beautiful character, mouth, face. It's in the. Oh, it's not bad at all. Well detailed, enough to work on it. And when I compare him to, let's say, a Tau, it's actually a really good size. So that's really easy to work with. So you really got something to work. So really, really happy from this. Basically, we got two more Silver Knight, basically the same models. We're just gonna check for the arrow. See, this one is completely straight. Well done. Again, mold line in the back. So the face is the same for the jaw, like I was talking about. But beside that, we can see that the one that's in worst shape is the one on the top right there. But you got two of them that are pretty much in really good shape. So that's fun. For the second hollow, let's check in quickly. Again, the axe seems more straight, so that's not bad. So I can't tell you if you buy a box if they're going to be really in good shape, but there seems to be 50% chance or 1/3 of chance that some of them are a bit damaged. Not really damaged, but bent. Beside that, same texture, everything's pretty much the same. We got that mold line that goes across the head to the elbow. I hope that needs to be worked. But beside that, still again, good model, beautiful design, deep enough to work with it. So that's really, really nice. I wouldn't see him as a boss actually, but I don't know why the Dragon Slayer is here. But anyways, so he's a boss. One way to know if it's a boss, there is actually a cross under him. But for us, what's really interesting right now, it's looking at the details of the model. So for the Dragon Slayer, the pole arm is a bit, or the spear is a bit bent, but not that much. If we look at it to the side, on this side, we can actually see how bent it is, but it's not that bad. It's only that little part in the back. So it's okay. Long hair, really nice. I love this on the helmet. Really beautiful. Good design on the armor itself. Those guards for the legs, or that skirt, that metal skirt, well done, good design, easy to do some highlights. We got some molding problem. As you can see, there's like a dot on his leg right in front of my finger right there, but that can be cut off really easily. So that's pretty nice. The only thing for when you're working with a boss for the board game, just be careful if you're doing your base, because that X at the bottom decide where the enemy is looking at and where your character is, and it decides the pattern of his attack. So I don't know if there's a way you can do the base and actually put rocks or something to like mimic that X, so you can keep it in mind if you're hoping to play with it. But beside that, beautiful design. I really love those pauldron on both of the shoulders. We got a weird mold line though, right there. That's the only thing I'm not too sure. You see, it starts from the top of the head, go across and under his neck, and go towards the pauldron. So that's going to be hard to reach. It's really in the tricky place, and it's not that obvious. But beside that, wonderful model. Really love this one. It's really, really beautiful. I believe that's one of my favorite right now from all the tree kits. Really well done. So let's move those little bag to the side, and we'll take one of the Sentinel out. So this is one of the Sentinel that comes in the box. Big model, really big model, beautiful, as you can see. And what I will do with this shield is like some kind of mirror. So that'd be really nice, since we got such a beautiful long surface. If somebody got really good skill to mimic a mirror or some kind of reflect, that'd be awesome. That is one of the best model to do that kind of practice on it. The pole arm is completely straight, really beautiful. We got ridges all along to the top. I'll try to make a focus on it. Can you focus? There you go. We can see all the ridge. Great design. For the design on the blade itself, it's deep, but not really. So be careful. Your paint cannot be too thick, or you're gonna hide those design, and it's not gonna look great. That tab bar that goes in the front and the back is the same. So basically, just keep your color from the front to the back. And again, we got those ridge, those little side with all those little ridge on the side, those little design. They're not too big, so you have to be really careful on this. Let's see if I can. Oh, always trying to figure a way for my camera to get it. There we go. So you see, they're not too deep, but actually you can easily with a wash highlight those. Chainmail on the legs, really well done, really deep. That's beautiful in silver. Pauldrons got those little sides on extra, and that is really great. The helmet is tiny, but the details are there. So this is awesome. This is amazing. When the details are really small, you need them to be in excess of deepness to be able really to work around it. So that's great. I really love what they did with the Sentinel. So this is a great model. Now let's move to the bottom. Let's see. Where can I put this? There we go. So what do we got here? The Herald. That looks like the Herald. So that's the first playable character that we got. And when you compare him, maybe with the wait, I'll flip my hand like this. Can you focus on him? Let's try to. I'm trying to force the camera to focus on him. When you compare him to the one in the expansion, can we focus on the face? It's gonna be hard. There we go. So we can see the face is well detailed. The eyes are there, the mouth is there, the nose is there, and that is great. It's not a Pinocchio nose like the other ones we saw in the character expansion. It's really well designed. The ridges on the torso are really good, so that works. The shirt got all those lines, really beautiful, really nice. The only bad part that I see from that character, to be honest, is the fact that the spear is bended. But again, it's not the end of the world. You can bring it back just a bit. But beside that, the model all around is not bad. No big mold line. There's a bit of missing part maybe on the pants, as if the mold line is actually deep and not sticking out. But beside that, really well done. The cape is beautiful. If you want to work on that, that is amazing. This is a beautiful movement. We got a character in action for an attack, so that is rare and beautiful at the same time. The only thing, of course, the shield is kind of plain. But when you get a plain shield like that, it lets you really play with highlights and spotlights or wear and tear on the metal. So that's kind of neat. So I kind of like that. It really opens all the imagination to work on it. So the Herald for me is a big win and really a beautiful character. So that one's going to be nice to paint and work on. So perfect. So who should I do next? Maybe do another character. I got this character that is just sideways. So we got the warrior. So shield is completely stuck to the body, so you don't need to paint behind it. It's a wooden shield, so that's going to be nice to work with it. The pants are like, again, just like our herald, like a heavy type of fabric, so that's going to be nice to work with. A bit of fur to the boots. The helmet got those beautiful little design. Again, be careful not to put too much of a thick paint, but that one isn't that bad. And the the eyes of the character are really, really well done. So we got the mouth, we got the eyes, so that's going to be easy to focus on them. So that's another great thing. Chainmail for the armor completely, so that's not bad. A bit of detail, not too much. So it's really well balanced. For that, the warrior is pretty cool. Again, he seems not in a striking really pose, is more somebody that is guarding. But yeah, the axe is a bit bent again. That looks like a tendency for all the expansion and the board game. But it is pretty nice. The only thing, the handle itself is void of detail. So it's really just a basic handle without any detail. There is no marking on the blade, so it's going to be up to you to decide if you put some wear and tear or just a beautiful axe in great shape. The cape is really well caught in the wind, so we got that kind of movement. The only thing, what I would have done for this character, the way he's positioned, to mimic the movement, I will have turned that cape on the other side. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not the end of the world. Nice character. It's going to be great to paint with. We got enough extension between the legs and the arms to go and paint around it. So this is a great model. Really beautiful model. So right now the characters are on point. Maybe I'll do this one since we're doing that line. So we'll do the assassin. Again, we got that shield that is connected to the body and molded together. And we got a hole right there, just under the arm. So yeah, maybe a bit of green stuff to fill that up. And we got a big mold line that goes across. So that's going to be need a bit of cleanup, but it's not that bad. Pretty easy to reach. Maybe on top here is going to be harder because the mold line goes under the arm itself, as you can see right there. The blade seems pretty straight, so that's a great thing. We got a good posture, the way the character is placed. The pants got a bit of detail, so that's another great thing to look at. I believe, well, yeah, I was about to say that I believe it's really a beautiful model. It is a beautiful model, but we got that mold line that goes across that arm right there. But the thing is, it seems to be deep. When a mold line is actually not sticking out, it's actually more bothering me. And right now, that's what's happening. Right now, it's more like a hole going all across her arm and going down. The face is well done, except for one thing. Do you see the smudge, that connection between the hood, between the hood and the face, right to the side, right in front of my nail? There's like a bump, like if her jaw is fused with the hood itself. So that's a bit bothering. So you may have to get a knife or something and cut that off, or to try to make like a division in between. But beside that, shield is decent, well done. So we know by looking at it, it seems made out of metal. So that is great. So I kind of like that. Beside that, yeah, great model, good posture, a bit more work than the others. So for the box, I think this one is one of the worst, but at the same time, it's still better than whatever we get in the character expansion, and of course, beating nearly all the models from the Ghost or NPC expansion. Let's go for the hollow crossbow. Up. So the hollow crossbow is not bad. As you can see, he got some kind of, is that, yeah, it's actually a piece of armor. Okay, sorry, I'm learning at the same time. So if we look at it, that's the armor, a metal piece of armor that is completely destroyed over time in many war or battle, and that goes to the front, and you see how deep those scars in the armor are. They're completely missing, and we can see behind it either his shirt or maybe a bit of chainmail. So that's really nice. The face is all crooked because it's like a skull face. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. It's not bad. It really gives it a skeleton look, and that is great. The helmet is actually made of metal too, so that's another great thing. Crossbow is a bit bent. As you can see, this side is bent, so you need to bring it back a bit. We'll check the other one just to see if they're both the same. And we got an extra piece of plastic right there that needs to be removed. Beside that, the chainmail goes down near the legs. We got a bit of fabric that goes across it, and it is pretty nice. So yeah, for a monster, really well done. A lot of detail. Really surprised for that deepness in the scarring in the main armor. So that is pretty nice. I really love this. This is going to be fun to work with. We'll check the second one. Actually, there's 3 of them. Let's check the second one. That one's a bit stuck. And same thing, the crossbow is a bit bent to the side, and we got that extra plastic right there. So again, just need to try to bring that back just a bit. Beside that, when you look at it from the side, it doesn't look that much. Or maybe you could say it's just because it's an old crossbow and it's all broken, just like his armor. So yeah, not too much of a mold line. I see it, it's right there, but it's basically invisible, just because it follows the shape of the character. On this side, the mold line is a lot more visible. So it starts from the top of the helmet and it follows all the body up and down till the bottom of the leg. But the worst part are from the helmet to the elbow. Easy to reach, so easy to fix. So yeah, not bad. And we'll check just the last one to make sure. See, so the last one doesn't have the same mold as the others because you see the extra part of plastic is on this side and it is completely straight. So this one is actually better, but it is actually the same exact design as the other ones. And again, we got that mold line from the top of his helmet that goes down the elbow and follow his shirt down. So yeah, it's not the end of the world, just a small correction on it, but it's a nice model again. And we can again compare it to a Tau and it seems pretty much the same size. So not bad, really not bad, really happy. Let's do another Guardsman Silver Knight. And this one got the shield. And if you remember, it's in the character expansion, we got the armor for the Silver Knight. It's the armor set. And this one is a lot better than the one in the character expansion. The ridges on that shield are really deep, well done, really well detailed. The armor, same thing. I'm really sorry. I'm getting a cough there. As you can see, the armor is really beautiful, well done, well designed. We got really a lot of detail in this, and it's beautiful. The sword, same thing. We got a bit of design on the sword, and this will look amazing once painted. And it's actually carved in the sword, and it's not a bumpy design. So that's pretty cool. The eyes of the helmet, again, are present, so that's going to help a lot, really a lot. So cape is a bit better than the one with the longbow, just because of that little movement to the side, except instead of being completely straight, this one got a little wind to it. Still pretty square, if you ask me, but still not bad at all. For the movement, I will have, again, put that movement maybe on the other side, but at the same time, you could say that he's moving to the right and the weight of the cape is moving to the left. So yeah, beautiful model, good looking. We'll just check the other quickly, just to check the sword. The sword is a bit bent on this one, but beside that, it seems pretty straight, enough to work on it without doing too much modification. So I wouldn't bother too much on this sword being bent. Let's try the last one of the Silver Knight. Sword is completely straight, so that's another good thing. looks good, well shaped, again, beautiful. We got that mold line that comes across the leg, easy to reach, not a big problem. I'm not even concerned about this. And the mold line on this side is completely invisible. So those are really, really great. The only thing right now, what's the average of the characters and monsters that I see right now are really well done. The only thing, we got a lot of the same, so at the same time it's pretty cool because you can really try different paint scheme on them. So right now we got the hollow soldier, uh, well detailed, again, beautiful wear and tear on his garment. The armor is in more mint condition than the others, so that looks a lot better. We got a bit of fabric, and under we got the chainmail. There's a lot of holes on the helmet, like if you got a lot of strikes on it. As you can see, all the holes on the helmet. So that is really nice. So you don't have to do it. It's basically in the design itself. Again, the only thing is, if you don't want those holes to look, well, you need to use a bit of green stuff. The shield, same thing. It follows the design of being battered with the wear and tear, a lot of fights. Sword is a bit crooked, not too much. That I can work with that, so that's actually pretty neat. He's in a complete motion, so that is fine. That's actually really amazing. Really love this. And the face looks good, deep enough. There is no nose, so the hole for the nose is present. The mouth is there, so beautiful to make a skeleton face. So yeah, the hollow soldier is amazing. Really looks good. The mold line come across in the back right here, and again it's like more a hole than anything else, so it's deep, so it's not something you can actually scratch off. So that's bothering me, but at the same time, like I said, it's not the end of the world. The other side of the mold line is on the front, just under the arm. You can actually see it, and again it's more like a hole that goes across, so keep an eye for that. We'll just check the two others quickly, just to check the weapon. The sword on this one is a bit curved again. Beside that, same postures, same movement, but here the mold line is actually sticking out. So this one you can actually scratch it off. So we really got like that half and half, 50-50 chance of getting a design that is well, and after that a design that is not so well. So this one's same, just a bit of mold line there, and if I go across here, the mold line here is actually not a hole, and you can actually work with this. So that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Beautiful model, really nice. So we'll finish with the knight for the playable character. The sword look a bit bent, but nearly not visible, so that's not bad at all. So that is not bad. Beautiful. I remember when I was looking at the character expansion, we got Horus, and I said that would be nice to have Henry. And the reason I think we don't have Henry is because we got the knight for the main character. So I guess they didn't want to reuse the same design. So, well detailed, a bit overwhelmed around the pauldron and the elbow, but not so bad. It's just, it gets, like I said, it gets confusing when you got too much detail going on at one spot. And when you look there, you're not too sure what's the other part under the pauldron, and that third part right at the bottom. Then you got the elbow pad. So yeah. Beside that, we got a mold line that goes across from under their arm and goes towards the leg. Could be hard to clean, but you could do something with this. Beside that, the knee pads are nice. We got beautiful belts for. That would be nice, actually. I see we got two belts, but we don't have anything to hold the weapon, so a holster will be really nice, like to sheath back the weapon. But beside that, it's pretty cool. The shield in the back seems to be bent backward. So I'm not too sure why it is bent backward like that. We would need to see why it is like this. Beside that, it's pretty cool. It's really nice. I really love it. It's really a beautiful character. So yeah, it's a really beautiful character. I'm sorry the audio may have just cut off and connects back again, so we'll see from there. Maybe the sound kind of changed there. The microphone just kicked out and back on, so I'm not sure if it was actually off. So anyways, so yeah, that's one of the last playable character. Like I said, it's pretty much the design of Henry, but this is the knight for your playable character. And the shield, let's try. There we go. The shield got a bit of design. The top and bottom are sticking out, but the middle part is actually really thin. So the molding wasn't equal all around. So could be tricky for that shield. So I'm not sure if they're all like that or not. So on this was mainly the main characters for now. So now we'll move to the boss. So that's going to be interesting. So for the bosses, there we go. This one's a big box. There we go. So for the boss and mini boss, we have the Dragon Slayer. We have the Dragon Slayer with the monsters and characters. So it's not that bad, but it comes and we can actually put it with Smog. So we'll review Smog first. First thing we see for Smog, it's really huge. That's the first thing I can tell you. If compared to a Tau, this is enormous. Not even sure if I can focus on something right now. Wait, we'll try to. There we go. So when you look at both of them, big difference. Smog is huge. So as a Smog, of course, it is amazing to have Smog in his full size. The only problem, it's the mace is bent, and I don't think this one can be corrected. That's going to be really hard to put back straight. And the reason is that hammer, I believe that hammer is actually full of plastic. I think this is pretty much all the weight of the character is in there. So yeah, really amazing. A bit of defects here and there on the mace itself, as you can see right in front of my finger. That little dot of plastic that needs to be clean. But beside that, when you look around it, really beautiful. Not too much of a mold line, and what they did, the mold line comes across and follows kind of the design, so it's nearly invisible. But we got that little split at the bottom right there. So just keep an eye for that. Top of the hammer, basic, but we still got ridges on top, so that's pretty nice. It adds more effects. And at the bottom, we got that ring that I said that's kind of cracked off with a few claws. But the thing is this, the design comes and it's supposed to clip at the bottom. So just make sure that those are in line. As you can see, yes, it's glue, but it is not completely straight. So yeah, keep an eye for that. Beside that, the armor is amazing. This is one of the best characters for the design. Really deep recess. Everything is perfect. The holes are really, really deep, and it's more deep than my nail. So this is amazing to work on. And we got a small mold line there, but nearly invisible. So Smog for me is a big win. This one is really worth, for me, just the investment of $60. Let's say $60. You got him and a few more that are in good shape. You got your worth of money in my book. But this is really amazing. Beautiful model, well done. It is really great. The helmet or the face of Smog is actually really well done. So big win for Smog. So now we'll take the Titanite Demon. Not trying to bend him. There we go. So now we got the Titanite Demon. And again, beautiful model. All the muscles, well, the rock muscles, really well designed, deep, well done. All the skin really got those little details carved in like a rock. So that is a character without having to play with your paint. You can make it look like rocks. Easy, 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 super easy. So it's beautiful. We got a small hole at the bottom right there. Maybe that could be a problem. Beside that, we got some separation around the arms. A little crack, but it's not the end of the world. And the tail is beautiful. We got ridges all around. And compared to the bow, if you remember the Silver Knight, the bow, the back of the bow got no design. The tail is actually designed on both sides. So this is great. Nothing is bland, everything is done. The weapon may look naked, but it is like that in the game. The only thing, if I remember, this isn't, somebody can tell me, if I remember in the game, this is a bit more open, but maybe that's just me. But beside that, really straight, not damaged. There is no curve to it. Well, maybe a bit, but it's nearly invisible. So this is a great, great, great model. Really love this. Again, remember if you do the base to be careful, because you still need to see those line at the bottom for the character. So what I'll do, because now they're kind of mixed together, I think I'll start with the Gargoyle. Then I'll go either to the Dancer or, yeah, we'll see. Maybe not. Maybe what I should do is actually start with the... wait, is that the Boreal Knight? Oh yeah, it is. So we got a Boreal Knight. Really nice. Really beautiful. Because his hand is actually not touching the ground. It's just hovering over the ground. So in full movement. Really beautiful. We got that little separation of the neck. I guess this is where they glue it on. So, not so bad. Could be fixed. But beside that, when you look at all the armor and all the details, I don't even need to explain you guys how well detailed this is. All the pieces of armor are really, really individually visible and easy to work with and easy to highlight. And for the face, if you remember, that face is kind of glowing blue in those little slots. So that's going to be a beautiful character. The sword is pretty straight. There is not much problem with it. Let's see if I put my hand behind it. You see there's a bit of design on the sword itself. Again, the ridges on the sword are really, really well done too. So this is a beautiful model, really nice to look at. And I can't wait to paint it. And we got that mold line that goes across that back leg. But it seems somewhat easy to reach, maybe not in those little corners. But beside that, it's not too high. Really a quick clean. So yeah, beautiful model for the Boreal. So what I'll do, I'll put it to the side because we'll try to clean a bit of that space. So we'll move to the Dancer. Can we try to do the Dancer now? All right, we'll do the Dancer. So first thing I realized for the Dancer, it's still a great model, but I would have hoped for a second dagger in his hand or hands. That would have been nice, but yeah, it's fine. It's not the end of the world there. Helmet, really beautiful, really deep with a crown. We got that little chain that goes across, really beautiful. We got a little fusion here near the fabric of the pauldron and actually her arm. So I'm not sure. That could be an extra part of the fabric right there, that little square, but I'm not sure. It's not well divided for that. But beside that, the rest of the detail are really, really nice. I love how the cape mold the body and come back, right? Because she's in full swing for right or left arm. And this is really beautiful. See here how the shoulder pad is really well divided. We got the shoulder pad, beautiful design right there, and then we got the arm. So that design is really nice compared to this side where it gets a bit jumbled up together with that part. So not so bad. The legs are good. There's like some kind of belt at the bottom. Sword, really beautiful. We got that how can I call that, the spine of the sword, that is well designed. Again, really beautiful details added to it. So that's another win character for me. Not much to be done to solve, and the fact that she's in somewhat of movement is really cool. I love the fact that if you look at the cape, it kind of falls down. We got some weight to it. So that's really, really nice. Really love this. It's really pointy. But the thing is, if it's that heavy on this side, as you can see, why is it lifting so high in the back? I will have dropped that one maybe down a bit. But that's just me. But at the same time, it gave us access to the side of our legs. So beautiful models. Really nice. We'll take the yeah, we'll try to remove the wing knight. So this is one of the wing knight. You see him carefully. What I really like is the axe and all the details in it, all that wear and tear. Again, the hilt is kind of clean for the handle, but if it's the model of the design, it's fine. Helmet got a bit of design right there. You can see there's some kind of grill for the mouth. Eyes are deep. There's a nose. So that's great. The only thing is all those little design around the neck could be hard. And I see a lot of glue on mine right there where the head is glued on. So could be bothering for some people just having an extra glue like that. But beside that, pauldron are beautiful. Chainmail is good. Bracers are fine. But the bracers got those little design. So no thick paint on those because they're really, really tiny. Same thing for the side of his leg. That skirt, those designs are really tiny. It's going to be hard. So a dry brush for that. That's for sure. And dry brush for the bracers. The wings are well done, really well divided, not too stuck together. So we can actually really highlight the tops of them. So that's going to be really nice. We got a little defect just beside the mold line. As you can see, there's that white dot right there. But beside that, not bad. Not bad. Beautiful model. Not too heavy. It looks like something that would be really heavier, but it's actually really light. So like this. And finally, we will cover the gargoyle. So the gargoyle for me is one of the most details, pretty much a masterpiece of this board game. So first thing, the shield got so many designs, really beautiful, and it's not too light. It seems really small, but it's not that bad. Easy to dry brush or highlight with a paintbrush. And I'm trying to, there we go. So really beautiful, well designed. After that, if we look at the face, teeth are really well done, well divided. The mouth is deep. You can actually see the back of the throat, but the thing you see actually the glue in the back of that throat. So not bad, but if you do a good job and paint it black inside of it, that could be barely visible. Top of the helmet, really beautiful, well detailed. The neck is detailed, it's pretty nice. The only thing that the texture of the skin doesn't go between the wings, so I'm not too sure. And from the wings you can see where they're glue, so it's so-so. It's not that bad. For the wing themselves, if you look at this, really, really gorgeous. And all those lines are really engraved in the wing. So that is amazing. And we got a feather that will guard over the top of the wings. And if we look on the other side, same thing. Really beautiful design for both wings. Really well done. This is really amazing. It is a beautiful model. Again, if we look at the skin for the torso, We can see again the texture of the skin. We see the opening on the rib cage, well detailed. And then after that, you reach the belly. The belly is more simple, more flat. And I see the same thing for that bone part in the back. Not a lot of texture in that part, so it's fine. But you see the skin texture goes up there and stops. And on this side, there's no texture whatsoever. So I could see somebody trying to add, again, a bit of texture on this side to kind of balance back the model in between. The only bad part, really bad, is the connection for the tail. You see how it looks into really two parts and not a real part of the model itself. It's really look like something that got added there. So it's sad, but beside that, the tail is amazing. A lot of details. And like I said, on both sides of the tail. So that is really, really great. It is a great design. The axe on the tail, the design seems to be a bit lacking. It's there, it's good looking, but it's not as beautiful. It seems really rough on the edge. They didn't invest as much time designing the axe over the tail and the skin. So yeah, it's not so bad. The axe itself is texturized again, a beautiful ridge, really high. Again, we got those notch in the blade. They are deeper than the one here, but at the same time, they're not as bad either. So yeah, the hilt is pretty straight. The weapon doesn't seem to be curved or any problem whatsoever with it. So that's really pretty nice. The arms follow the same texture as the skin, but we got that mold line that goes across. And the mold line is barely visible here, but if you look right there on that kind of pauldron, you can see it's building up right there. So it's not that bad. Easy to reach, not that bad to clean. It's not the end of the world. And on this arm, the only thing is you need to reach the back of this shield, because the back of the shield got designed too. So yeah, that's tricky. It's going to be tricky to work with this, but it is still pretty beautiful. We can see really the design in it with the end. So that's going to be hard to work with, but is a nice touch. That's really a 360, a 360-degree model that can be viewed in all its angle and really look great. So it's really beautiful. So this was my view of all the models that are offered in the board game of Dark Souls, the main board game. So what I would say is the expansion packs are about $50. If you can get them cheaper, get them cheaper. I got still two more expansion pack to look at. But for me, if you had to buy one for the models and really having fun, having some of the main characters to play with, some of the boss really to make like a diaporama or something, a really beautiful design, I would say go for the main board game. Those are amazing. Just the boss. If we look at something like Games Workshop, something like the Winged Angel, like this, would cost you more than $50, right? So now if you pay the full price for the box, it's $100. And you got already the 6 bosses are amazing. It is already worth, for me, the $100. If you love the monsters of Dark Souls, if you're not interested in the monsters and it's really the main characters, I would say buy the character expansion over the main board game. If you're really interested in all the universe of Dark Souls, then I would say go for the board game. So for all the models that are in it, the details and everything, I would say the board game is the best bang for your bucks. But if you're really just interested in buying a few, but you don't want to invest too much, I would say go for the character expansion. And if it's really a question of money, then look online to buy separately. But usually you'll save by buying a kit. So try to either find one secondhand or a board game where the board itself got destroyed and the guy is just getting rid of the miniatures, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really love doing this because I really love looking at those models. I never look at them before, so it's actually the first time I'm sitting there and looking at them. So I'm learning at the same time as you guys. So it is really, really cool. So I got 2 more expansion to cover, and I think that's gonna be the next 2 videos. So, all right, I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope to see you guys around. All right.